Hey everybody! It's week 3 of distant learning, and I got McGuire and Nash here. Hi guys,
Hello.
Hey,
how's everybody doing?
Good.
I'm good.
You
Living
haven't
the
grown any
dream.
hair.
Nope, nope.
Uh, I just realized you have your Aaron Rodgers jersey on.
I threw it on when you were talking about that one guy.
Oh,
So,
which one, Jameis?
because oh yeah, well you guys are all. I assume you guys are both Tampa fans, hardcore. So
Eh,
I, see, I've been a Tampa fan. When I lived in Pennsylvania, I was a Tampa fan, which is the weirdest thing. I think I was the only one in like the Tri-County area. And then I moved down here, and it was like the local team, and all of a sudden, I got to watch every game, and it's been great. I mean, ever since the Super Bowl that they won almost 20 years ago now, I guess I've been a fan. But
if you
it's
go in a Popka, they've got that what's that restaurant? It's the barbecue joint, and the one guy that was on the team owns it. He's got his jerseys and stuff hanging up. I can't remember his name.
sad.
Warren Sapp.
Maybe he's like number 92 or something.
That
That
would be
sounds.
Simeon Rice.
I didn't know. I gotta look
Well,
it up.
Sap's from Apopka, right? He went to
Yeah,
Apopka
that's
High
why I
School.
was thinking it might be Warren Sapp.
Yeah, but he's 99.
Maybe
Yeah,
it was 99. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there. Warren Sapp, Apopka Barbecue. Yeah, that's
I
him.
could
Or
go for. Yeah, I could go for some barbecue.
tell you what, I haven't eaten out. I'll tell you that. I must be like some of the only people who haven't eaten out since this whole thing happened.
I've been going out for some tacos.
Mm.
Taco.
Where?
Jimmy Hula's.
Oh, nice.
It's it's pretty good.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It's been a long time since I've been there, but I do enjoy that. I think I've gotten food from Tijuana Flats once on this
Oh,
in this last month.
also good. Yeah, you guys. Well, you guys don't eat out that much, anyways.
We try not to. I mean, we normally go once a week, but that's even less now.
Yeah.
I mean, if we've I think we've gone. I take that back. Went to Tijuana Flats. And we went to Yellow Dog Eats in Gotha, and that's just because that's like a local place, and I'd rather give money to a local place
Yeah.
during all this. So support your local businesses.
Yeah.
I can't say that this is like sponsored by anything. I'm assuming, right?
No.
But
This
yes,
is.
the Buccaneer. Oh God, the Buccaneers thing. I was a fan. All right, and I'm very, very. I feel very strongly about this. So I was a fan starting in like 96, 97 ish. And right before they actually made the jersey switch in 98.
Mhm.
And then they were pretty good. Like they played the greatest show on turf in the NFC Championship game. I think in what 2000,
Mhm.
2099.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was a fan of them for a long time, big fan. And then they started drafting players that it was absurd. It all goes back to one combo that now people might say something like, "Oh, well, blah blah blah," because he retired. But they drafted Mark Barron,
Mm.
safety out of Alabama, over Luke Kuechly, linebacker out of Boston College. And
Yeah.
I think Luke
Yeah.
Kuechly won. Well, he won Rookie of the Year or Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And he literally just ran the entire defense. He was the only quality, like he was the guy who kept the Carolina Panthers in anything for the past 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, and that's when I was kind of like, I can't watch this. And then they drafted Jameis Winston, who just a liability. I'll say that, a liability, since I have to. But yes, a liability without being humble.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I think it was Tuesday, like Saturday. I was flipping through. I had no idea what else to watch at this point, and I was looking on ESPN Plus, and they had like the NFL films, like NFL Greatest Games, where they take games and put them in half an hour and do all that with like Steve
Those are
Sable
great.
or whoever. Yeah,
I always wanted
and
that job as a kid. So
it was. I haven't watched one of those in a long time, and then I looked and they had the Super Bowl in San Diego against the Raiders, and I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this. And it was like they had like John Gruden mic'd up, and all he did was just like tell everybody the last 2 weeks what the Raiders offense was, and the Raiders had no chance because like he coached them the last 4 years and still the offense left, and then was like, all right, this is what Rich Gannon's gonna do, and John Lynch is like, all right, hey Dexter Jackson, he's gonna pump it and throw it to you. He's like, all right, and he had 2 picks. Like there you go. Like it was a blowout, and they had that defense was just nasty. And John Lynch is I don't know how he's not in the Hall of Fame, but that's a story for another day.
He will be.
Yeah, especially now with what he's doing in San Francisco as a GM too.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think he's not done yet. So
Right. But yeah.
But yes, that was quite a crew.
did you want the pirate jerseys to come back? I saw they have new jerseys out.
I don't really I don't know, man. I'm just happy they went away from what they had.
Right.
The alarm clocks were not okay.
And like the shoulder thing was weird.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things. I understand that changing up your uniforms can be exciting and things like that. It's just not something I support.
Yeah. You're
McGuire,
definitely a
McGuire
definitely
knows.
timeless uniform type of guy.
I don't like the
am
new
a-
Rams jersey either. They changed the logo of the LA Rams. I
Well, the
think
logo's silly. I'm waiting on the jerseys, but the logo's silly.
I actually kind of always liked their helmets the way they were.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, but
It's like LA into the Ram. Yeah, it's weird.
oh yeah.
It's kind of like a Lakers logo a little bit. Like it's not too far off from that.
I can kind of see
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I understand. There's excitement about it. You have to sell merchandise because there is the business aspect of it. I just got done reading a book actually about running an entire organization, a sports organization. And one of the things that it was written by a manager, like the head coach of a soccer team in England. And he was talking about how he completely let go of merchandising. He completely let go of everything like that because he's like, I don't care about this stuff. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Just whatever. Just sponsorships, cool. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is winning. So I don't know. I do understand you have to sell things,
Yeah.
but I'm also a classic guy.
Well, and you can kind of tell with what they did. Like, look how much. I mean, I'm example A, but like those jerseys came out, and then like I went and bought myself a Tom Brady jersey, and everybody just loved these new jerseys. They're like, oh my god, like it's back to what it used to be. Like, and they just sold a ridiculous amount of these. And of course, Tom Brady helps, but like I think they were going to sell a lot anyways.
I think they were too, because I think they were going to transition out of Jameis Winston, and there was going to be a new era, starting with whatever they move towards. I really don't think they were going to move forward with him.
No, and I mean, I think it just makes sense. Jameis comes in, they get those new jerseys, he leaves, the jerseys are gone, and I hope at some point the Bucs in this virtual draft in a couple weeks draft a quarterback too that has some sort of potential, because I mean you got Brady for 2 years at the most probably, and like
Yeah, just get somebody in there just to listen to him in the locker room.
right, and there's some interesting prospects quarterback wise in this draft too, especially in the later rounds, like because there are people like Jake Fromm from Georgia who isn't really highly rated but had a good college career, so you're like I don't know,
Almost beat Alabama a couple times.
Right. So we'll see. I mean, that'll be weird. The NFL draft will be weird. I'll watch it because of course I got nothing else to do too. But like all virtual draft, see who hacks into their draft boards.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
Everything on social media, it'll be if somebody makes a bad pick. Wow, let's see who hacked into blah blah blah's account this time.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. the draft it's going to be sad that it's not taking place because I don't know. It's always nice to see all the players that are there.
Yeah.
The players kind of hanging out and like sitting at the tables and their families getting excited and stuff like that. I mean, it's always nice to see the ones that are at home with their entire families too. But
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah, it'll be
interesting.
weird. It'll be odd. Well, everything's odd. So
Is it Bengals they got first pick? Or
yeah.
I always thought Andy Dalton was gonna solve their problems, man. He just doesn't have a team though.
Yeah. You and every Bengals fan for the last, I don't know, he's been there for a long time now.
Yeah, because he was there. I think when Ocho Cinco and all that stuff was going on too.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't even know where Ocho Cinco is. I don't know if he has a TV show
He
anymore.
lives in Miami.
Does he
Really?
really?
Yeah, he lives in Miami, and he I actually follow him on social media just because he's actually a really awesome guy when it comes to charities and stuff. So I like keeping up with him. And he goes to this like, well, he did. I don't know now. I haven't seen anything, but he would go to this like Cuban restaurant every day, and like he'd have a cigar and a Cuban coffee and stuff. He's an interesting guy.
He's a big soccer guy too.
Yeah, he was gonna
He
do
is.
MLS, wasn't he?
He was. He
Yeah.
was. What's the guy from the New York Red Bulls that I always associated with Chad Johnson for some reason?
Wow, I have no idea. That must be older Red Bulls, right?
Yeah.
I would have no idea.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Chad
Yeah.
Ocho Cinco.
I think he's back to Chad Johnson now, isn't he?
I think so.
I'd hope so. I'd hope so.
Do you see the XFL folded for good?
I watched those first 3 weeks. It was actually pretty good football. Like everybody can make fun of Vince McMahon all they want. It was actually decent. Like everything was good. The presentation, the graphics, players were having a good time. That's such a bummer.
Right. It was like the worst case scenario for them. Like they were like doing it this spring football. It seemed like they were doing it the right way. And then it was like, oh no, it's not gonna happen.
They had like been profiting every week, they said. They were being like very, very small grassroots. We're gonna use like college and soccer stadiums, you know.
Yeah.
God dog, man, I'm bummed.
R.I.P. the Orlando Apollos.
That was the Spurrier team, wasn't it? With
the Alliance of American Football, the AAF.
They said they said the XFL made their whole 2 years of money in 1 week. Which I'm like,
wonder why.
The AAF just didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean they had 4 games and they had 20,000 people at each one. They were on ESPN, so.
Yeah.
What have you guys been watching? Like, have you been, binge watching anything, or, that downtime? That's what I'm asking. I'm curious what you're doing with your downtime. I know what Dickerson's doing. He's playing video games and taking care of the little one.
Don't have her, actually.
Oh, no?
She's been stuck in Kentucky because of all this crap.
Oh, you are bored out of your mind.
Oh, no, my wife's making me paint the house, so.
Oh, yes.
No,
inside?
Yeah, we were gonna sell it, but I've got to wait till next year. Realtor and the broker want me to wait, and then this happened. So now they're like, "Oh, you can definitely wait now." Yeah, we're just getting all the interior stuff done. We're almost done. So, but no, my kid got stuck in Kentucky because
we are almost done.
I've done about 40. I've done about 40%. So, which is good for me. She got stuck there because my wife took her there, left her for a few weeks with her grandparents, and we were gonna go up, and then lockdown, borders closed. So
yeah,
it's a weird situation.
Hopefully, they're back next week. It's been almost 2 months.
Oh,
jeez. Yeah.
Video games.
Video games for you. Yeah.
We painted our guest bathroom. So did that.
That's horrible. That sounds so bad. Did you guys watch? Did you guys watch the Tiger King?
I have not.
Neither of you have watched
I
it.
loved it.
Oh gosh, it's great.
I met Doc Antle. He was
Really.
I worked at the NBC affiliate of Myrtle Beach. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And I was in a studio with him for like 2 hours doing satellite interviews. He had written a book about his pet monkey finding a stray dog and becoming friends with it or something. And he lectured me about how we don't need materials, and the world's about being energy reminded.
Yeah, he seems like an interesting guy. Yeah. They just came out with an interview with. Did you see the most recent episode?
No, I gotta watch it.
It's just an interview with what's his name, Joel McHale or something. I don't know. The guy from Community or Talk Soup, I think.
What?
Yeah.
He's on there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's just him interviewing all of them. And McGuire, you haven't watched it?
No.
Start today.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's absolutely amazing.
You know how you watch Hoarders and you want to clean your house and be a better person? It's like that, but crack.
Yes. Like seriously, everybody was kind of like, chatting. I had a virtual meeting with like my friends one night. We were all like did a virtual meeting, and there a couple of them were talking about. I was like, all right, and our meeting ended at like 10 o'clock, and I was like, I'll watch an episode of this, see how it goes. And then I watched it, and it was done. I just want more now.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is a train wreck the right word?
Yeah, but it's what I said is it's an episode of 2020 mixed with Jerry Springer. And it's just
some WWE.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is everybody talks about all the different people in it, and they call them characters. But I mean, these are real life people, and I don't think they're playing a role, really. I think that they are who they are. But what's so great is that every person on there has some likable trait about them. Like there's something you do like about them. That you can see at the root of everything that there is good in all of them at some level. Even Carol Baskins, the one who everybody keeps on saying that killed her husband and stuff. But I was so entertained, man. Way more entertained by that than the most recent Rambo movie.
Well, I've mentioned this the other day, but I convinced my wife to go in on watching the whole Marvel Universe movies in order.
Which one are you up to now?
We just watched Infinity War last night, so we're rolling today's Endgame, and then it's over. Because oddly enough, before Spider-Man. This, we watched. That's the thing. We had watched Spider-Man like on spring break before we decided that we were going to actually do the whole thing in order. So we were like, well, we're not going to go back and rewatch that after it's done because we already had watched it. Because I've already seen Endgame and Infinity War, so we're rewatching for the most part. I don't know. I was never that big of a Marvel guy, and then all of a sudden I was like, I want to do it, and then I've been pretty into it. It's been like a movie every day for the last 3 weeks. So.
Yeah, how long have we been like this?
It's been coming on a month, right?
This is week 3, but it's, if you count spring break, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So is this the 4th week, or are we in a 5th week right now?
I think we went on lockdown spring break, so yeah, I guess this is week 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They talk about. You see that WWE is considered a essential business in Florida?
Yes. Me and you are watching the same ESPN feed.
Yeah. Which also showed that the WWE owned a quarter of XFL or something when they filed the bankruptcy play paper.
I
well, there's
I will defend wrestling as a form of theater and art.
oh yeah.
I gotta give it to them. They've been coming out to empty arenas here in Orlando, and they're still pretending the audience is there, even though there's no one there. They're still holding a mic, even though the camera can hear them just fine. So,
Well, I tell you what, man. I've lived my whole life with some sort of WWF, WEW, whatever. And because my brother is the huge, like the largest WWFE fan in the world,
How
and
large is he?
it's funny.
Big Daddy
The
Pump.
Big Show large, the Big Show.
Oh, okay.
Um, but he, it's you're right. It's like it takes a lot to be a professional wrestler, man. And I think it's something that people, if you actually sat down and watched some of it, you're like, oh, this is entertaining. Like, and that's all you ask for a television show, something that keeps you entertained. And I watched some of the WrestleMania with no fans and no crowd in Orlando that was supposed to be at Raymond James Stadium. And it was weird, but at the same time, I could not watch it. So, um,
I can't
I don't know.
imagine being a stand-up comedian with no audience. So it's kind of like the same idea. It's like
Mm,
those guys thrive off that energy and kind of change what they're doing. And now it's just like, oh, I'm out here just following a script, but I still got to make it look good. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like all the shows now, all the late night shows, all the stuff is now from home or they're telling jokes to nobody.
I've been very entertained by some of those late night shows, like the Jimmy Fallon and whatnot.
Mm,
I've been very entertained. And Conan, I watched some of Conan um, because I like seeing them adapt and change, obviously.
yeah.
I haven't watched them in years. And now all of a sudden I'm kind of interested. It might be the fact that I'm awake at that time. And
Yeah.
yeah, so.
how your kids doing?
What kids?
Well, I'm sorry, your students. Have you guys have your students been reaching out to you guys?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That
Yeah,
didn't
I'm like,
hit
what
on
kids?
anybody.
Well, there was that trip to Costa Rica.
Right.
Yeah.
You did go
So
to Mexico.
the my kids are mostly doing their stuff. I'm one of those people that I truly believe right now is not the time for us to flex our teacher muscles. I've said that a couple times, and my kids can learn with basic tasks that I upload for them to do. If they need to contact me, they can contact me. I set it up like an online course, from college. At UCF, we took a lot of online classes, and it's kind of like work through your modules and read the book. And take the quiz at the end of the week, that type of thing. There's no reason in my mind to have students constantly, working on every single minute of your class, because they're only in your classroom for 4 hours a week anyways. Normally, there's no reason to have them doing hours and hours of work on each class throughout the day. A lot of our kids have a lot of students and some of our players that their families had to fire all their employees, and now they're working, full time for their families. I have one player, she's 18, so she's allowed to work as much as she wants. But I mean, she's working, 60 hours a week right now, in order to support her family. And it's not easy. So I can't imagine just piling on stuff to flex my teacher muscles. Now's not the time.
Right. Right.
I don't have many students that are confused with stuff. My content isn't something to be really confused about, because once again, you can always jump back and read the book. I upload little videos, not of me, but like resources for them to kind of dive into and whatnot. And I would say about, I don't know, 80%, maybe closer to 90% of my students are doing my standardized assignments, making sure that they're keeping up. And I have a couple requests. Hey, this and that. Can I have a? And I'm being very understanding of, extensions and things like that. So,
Right.
but
Right.
once again, my content's much easier than a lot of other people's. I know McGuire's is a little bit tougher than mine probably, because obviously he has to coordinate with other teachers and things like that. And um, but at the same time, you're probably in the same boat as I am. It's like, here's your work, here's your assignment. I feel for the math teachers. That's who I feel for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Math, and then
Yeah.
science.
Hmm.
Some of the sciences, especially chem. I talked to Fielder the other day, and I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Can't imagine having to explain stuff like that on this.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, I don't give any more than like 2 or 3 assignments a week so far throughout this time. It's just something where I agree. I'm in the same, I guess, boat as you, or in philosophical ideal about this, about how you don't need to give them a bunch of stuff just because you feel like you should. And it's so far pretty good. I mean, I've had a couple kids who I haven't seen or heard or logged into Canvas in a
Yeah,
while. I mean, you kind of worry about them more than anything else, not about like what's going on. Not why aren't you turning my work in more than anything. You're like, there has to be a reason why you're not logging on, but I don't know what it is. Um, and uh, I think I was thinking about this the other day too, because I heard it. I think I heard D. Miranda say it on the when you guys talked to him. But like, it's interesting how kids, some of them are doing a lot better with this, and it's kind of like flipping the script for some of them. Some of them are doing that you haven't heard from, or weren't in class, or failed 2 quarters or something, but now are like doing good work and getting everything done, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's exciting. And then some of them who have been doing well aren't really doing as well, and it's an interesting dynamic, but it just kind of shows you that you really always have to kind of do different things in the classroom. And I'm not going to sit here and say that this whole thing is going to make me a better teacher, but it definitely makes you think about other stuff that like you may not have thought about before when it comes to next year at this point, or whenever you get back in the classroom. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. Like I was saying to Dickerson earlier, I would like some sort of clarity as to what in the world's going on here. I think that's my biggest thing. I don't mind doing what I'm doing. I don't mind sitting here and not really like going out in my house or whatever. But I just want to know, like, I want somebody to tell me, all right, there's going to be school again, or there's not going to be school again. That's what I'm just kind of waiting on.
I think that's where everybody's at. I think a lot of people are kind of sitting on a holding pattern. I have students
Yeah.
constantly asking me what I think about if graduation and
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, nobody knows anything. It's just wait. We'll see how everything turns out. Um, you know, they're, and that's where we're at. Normally, with like I keep comparing it to a hurricane.
Right.
The power goes out, and you're like, all right, well, it'll be a couple days, and then they'll get us back up and running. And then, like, worst case, you can always like take some time and go out to a restaurant, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
go to a family or friend's house or an event or something, and kind of kill some time. In this case, it's like we have all of our power and all of our internet and everything but we have no interaction with the outside world, really.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
weird.
there's no time frame.
Right.
You just wait.
It's weird having a curfew at 30 years old. Like, it's
Yeah.
and I've been telling everybody, I've had the kids doing the same question. I'm like nobody knows what to do, even fully grown adults that are in charge. So I'm like, unfortunately, it's a we're gonna wing it situation until a doctor or somebody comes out and says, "Hey, I think we're good." But
Right. Yeah, but then you look at that and you see how many people are on the same page with that? And the answer to that
Yeah.
is not many.
no,
And I don't know, like, I don't know. This is where, if you're looking at it from a social studies teacher point of view, you want to trust in your elected officials. And then if you don't like what they do, then do what you're supposed to do, and vote. and go from there. Because it's a big year too. I mean, it is an election year for pretty much everybody. So see what happens with that. But
Have
I
you
don't
guys
know.
gone out to the stores or anything?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Been wearing
Yeah.
masks or hazmat suits or anything?
Yeah, I mean, people are wearing masks and whatnot. You
I'm
know,
not.
some people are overdoing it. Some people, it's like it's hard to get rid of some of your social norms, and
Yeah,
what you're used to.
that's true.
But you know, it's mostly okay. There's nothing like crazy going on that I saw. I mean,
Yeah.
especially at like Publix has been what I've gone to the most, I would say. And I mean, they slowly adapted and changed to where they're like one-way aisles now,
Right. Right.
and it's you know, there's like a line out the door every day to get in there, but it's actually a pretty quick line. Nobody's going in and shopping for, you know, an entire week. They're going in for a couple days worth of whatever.
I was just gonna say, I've every time I've gone to the grocery store, I've bought for like 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
That's how I've been doing it. I'm like, I don't want to come
yeah,
back.
right,
So-
exactly. Like we've planned things out and just went and then assumed we weren't going to be back for a while. And it's weird because every time we've gone, I think we've gone like 3 times throughout this whole thing. And every time we've gone, like there has not been one thing, but there's been a lot of something else. Like the first time there was a bunch of like good like produce, like you could get any vegetables you want, but you couldn't get any rice or beans or pasta. And the next time you went, you can get rice or beans and pasta, but there was no produce. It's like what? And again, like I don't understand why you go and why people are going and just getting a 10 bags of rice. Like it's not a hurricane. Like
I
you
I
can
went
go to
to
the store.
I went to Walmart and they were giving out toilet paper by the dairy department for some reason, and they were like, "What do you want? How many?" I'm like, "I just need a 4-pack. Like, I don't need the 24 or 48 pack."
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. Like that's a social experiment in every aspect. Is this whole like, let's go buy a bunch of toilet paper because that's what's gonna run out. It's like, wait, says who? Like who says you need toilet paper for this? And if you don't have it, you definitely don't need to go hoard it. Like I don't
Home Depot got bleach. We were going in to get paint because nothing stopping my wife from working apparently, and there was a guy with like a cart of like 6 bleaches. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're not pressure washing, are you? Like,
yeah, it's not like bleach is going away, you know. I don't know. I don't know.
my friends, a lot of my buddies have traveled a lot of places around the world, and all of them have been to Japan. And they after they traveled to Japan, and most of them are you know, in the business world or engineering and stuff like that, so they stay in hotels on their company's dime, and they are very used to bidets. um, you know, it's one of those things that you know, I've never really experienced, but they have sworn by it through this whole process. And I've for a couple of years now, I've been laughing that, you know, the water is heated and it pre-wets the bowl and it's got a laser light show and it like mists with a scent after you're done going to the restroom, different angles, everything. And I've been for years been like, what? I don't know. You know, maybe I'm stuck in my American ways where I'm just like, what? No.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to wonder. My buddy has like $3,000 worth of bidets in his house.
Oh
You know, he buys the cheap ones for his guest bathrooms. But you know, I've been seeing ads. You know, ads will pop up on my Instagram feed or whatever it might be, and I'm wondering. I'm wondering. Maybe Japan
Amazon.
has it right. Maybe Japan has it right.
Uh,
I'm
Hey,
getting
that's
I'm
a
getting
good
like
point.
ninja masks now as ads. It's like these
Mhm.
fashionable masks that you can wear. I'm like, what is
It's like-
this?
Well, and I mean, it anybody wants to make $1 off anything. I mean, that's the thing, is people jump onto anything to make $1. And it's really sad to see some of these people trying to not necessarily take advantage of people, but take advantage, like you said, these masks that are like, I don't know, $30 because they're fully customized. I understand business and the grind and blah, 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 whatever, but it's just like, now's not the time.
Yeah, that's true. Also, if you make your own mask, you ever see those people like make like the cloth mask? Don't put them in the microwave. Have
Why
you
do you
seen
say
those?
that?
Like, because people have like the cloth masks. People, there's this thing on like Facebook saying that like to clean it, you put it in the microwave, and they like catch on fire in the microwave.
Just put it
Yeah.
in the sun. The UV.
Or put it, I don't know, in the washer.
Or that, yeah.
I don't know. Like it, if you're really worried about it, like scrub it out in your bathtub with some soap. I don't know.
Yeah. Like these are, those Tide Pods you were eating before? Go ahead and use those to clean the mask instead of microwaving it.
Yeah. Well, people get bored, man. I don't know. I feel like we're hitting sort of like a point where, all right, everybody's been sitting at their house for about a month, pretty much throughout America, if you're doing it right. And like, and then I keep thinking about this, like in the next week or two, like something's going to give. I don't know what it is, but people can't do this for that long. I don't think that they should. I think that this is something where like, yeah, you just got to do it because we have to do it. But something weird's going to happen because
Yeah.
people can't do this for a long time. And then everybody just continue to go about their days like everything's, I'm doing it because I'm supposed to. I mean, wars are different. Also, we've never really lived through a war where people had to do stuff. So I don't know, the at-home thing. And people love themselves in the 21st century. So we'll see.
I've been thinking the same thing. Kind of like, I don't know. I've just been thinking the same thing. Like something's gonna,
like something's gonna happen. Like somebody or some group of people or something is gonna just be like, no. And like,
no. I like that. No.
They cancel Coachella. No.
Yeah, we're going anyways, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be like, what?
Yeah, no, makes sense, man. I feel you. But I want to watch it from afar, whatever it is.
Yeah, I agree. And I tell you what, the chances of it happening in Florida are probably pretty high.
Oh yeah. Florida is awesome.
Why did I move here?
I agree. Yeah, Osceola County like enacted like you have to wear a mask outside in public places now. Like it's mandatory.
Which is funny because there's a Florida state statute actually that says you literally can't wear something covering your face in public unless for religious reasons, basically. Yeah. So they're completely disregarding,
right,
a law.
I mean, and then you go and you look at Twitter and you hit like, oh, let's see what people reply to that. And it's just like, you can't take away they rack off whatever amendment they think is correct. And then they're like, and then it's like, oh, are they going to give it to us? I don't have any. What am I supposed to do? Which are they going to give it to us argument is a valid one. Because if you don't have it or the means to get it or the money to get it, like, I can't go to the grocery store. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to fine me because I can't get one and you're not going to give me one? So that's where that's to me, when I read that, I was like, well, you're getting yourself in a sticky situation there. But
I saw the churches this past weekend. There was a few instances, like one in Mississippi. It wasn't per car, it was per person. So kids, wives, and husbands were getting like $500 tickets each for breaking for congregating together. There was like 100, 200 people that showed up in this parking lot to go to church. And the cops are like, we've been telling your pastor for the last week, don't do this. Do it on the internet. Please. We're begging you.
Yeah.
Kentucky, somebody covered the parking lot of a church with nails because the pastor was like, I'm not listening to them. I'm going to do it. We're all coming together. And it's like, no, please don't. Like the governor asked, don't. Please do it at home.
Yeah. There's video, like they stream everything now. Like, that's okay. Well, like just like I have a basketball court like a stone's throw away from my house, and like yesterday on social media, I saw somebody put a picture up of like there was like 50 kids at the basketball court, like 12 cars, like a bunch of kids. I think they're kids, I don't know, playing basketball and just like hanging out. And I guess somebody called the cops on them and they dispersed. And it's like, uh, and that's the
We
moral
actually,
dilemma, right? Like you ask yourself, like, am I supposed, like, if you're sitting there out your window and you see that, are you supposed to be like, okay, like that's fine. I'm just gonna sit in my house because I'm okay. Or are you gonna be the person who is like, we're not supposed to do this. I'm gonna be the betterment of more than myself. It's a tough decision.
yeah. Well, and so one of the things that I have been doing during the break, McGuire, but I've been going and picking up trash off the athletic fields. Not trash, litter. It's not trash. It's litter. And it's pieces, water bottles and whatever, just that accumulate over time. And every time I go up there, there's a kid that's like, hey, can I go use the field and stuff like that? Or maybe there's a couple kids, running the hills or whatever. And I'm like, guys, you cannot be here. Like, you have to go home. Just go home. I understand, whatever. You have to work out, but work out somewhere else. And some of the kids are not understanding at all. It's really sad to see these, students or athletes or whatever that want to be out, and I understand. It's just you can't. You have to stay home. Um,
Right.
and the basketball thing. The
Yeah.
basketball thing is actually very interesting. A buddy of mine posted on his Facebook account that the homeowners association had to take the basketball hoops
Oh,
off
wow.
because they just constantly.
Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, if you don't have a gate that needs something to get into it with, then you're gonna have that. That's what, especially kids who, like you said, either don't understand or don't really want to, because it's hard. It's hard. Like no, I feel like people say it, but people don't say it. But it's hard to sit at home and not be around people or do things and just kind of be here. And like if there's an open basketball court, people are gonna find it, or an open soccer field or an open whatever. People are gonna find it and go like, and I mean we still have golf courses open, so it's like it's a
That's
weird.
crazy. I got a guy in my grad class. He can go play golf every week still. I don't know if
Right.
maybe they're doing special. Hey, there's got to be 5 holes between each player. I don't know, but
I
just
doubt
like,
it, man.
wow.
I mean, I don't know, but I doubt it because it's the same thing. Like if I'm allowed to still be, if my business is allowed to still be open, I'm still going to make money.
Out in my in-laws live in the villages,
Mm.
and they have, I don't know, how many golf courses that are. It's not free, but it's included in their HOA fees. And they say that there's like lines like piling up to go out and play golf. The people in the villages don't care though. I mean, they're in their
They've
golden years or on
they've
their way out, and
they've got other viruses going on there.
yes, other viruses.
Well, I mean, my best friend who I've been doing an online franchise in Madden with over the last 3 weeks, he's works at a golf course. That's his job. That's his career as a golf course guy, and he lives in Pennsylvania. And the Pennsylvania governor, like because mind you, in Pennsylvania, you're not, if you work at a golf course, they're not open all year. Like there's
yeah,
snow, like it shuts down in October. It opens back up in April. Like April 1st is your date where no matter really if it's snowing or not, you're going back to work to get things ready. And the governor shut down golf courses. So people were like, he doesn't have a job, which is annoying. But people at New York still had golf courses open. So people would just go to New York and play golf because there's Pennsylvania shares a border with New York and not the city. Okay. I guess New York just shut down golf courses because like the liquor license, like the liquor board people were going to look at like country clubs and stuff and seeing like people, like hundreds of people on the golf courses, like high fiving, like not really adhering to anything. And they were like, hey, like this is what's going on at golf courses. So the governor's like, nope, no more golf courses now. It's like,
I love that you chose high-fiving as the as the example of interaction. It was crazy. There were all these people. They were hanging out and they were high-fiving.
All these white dudes.
oh, that's,
Yeah,
that's the truth.
that's good. That's good. No high-fiving.
Hey, that public service announcement: don't high five during the quarantine. There you go.
I don't know if you guys listened to Howard Stern, but
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady was on last week, and Governor Cuomo was on yesterday.
Oh,
And Sirius XM's actually free till May something. You download the app on your phone, you can listen to everything. So Tom Brady interview was pretty good. So
yeah, but he didn't really give any Howard Sterny answers though.
no.
He was like, I didn't really do anything in high school. I drank a little bit.
Howard Stern, everyone's calling him a sellout because he doesn't do that really anymore. He'll make like an inappropriate joke here and there, but like he's actually trying to be like a Larry King, Anderson Cooper kind of guy now.
Trying to turn his career into a different path.
I like it. I still think he's funny.
Yeah, I haven't really watched. So I've watched Marvel movies, and I started to watch Nash. I don't know if you've watched this. If you haven't, it's probably something to jump on whenever you get a chance. Netflix. It's called Sunderland Till I Die. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
It's because you know how a couple years ago, this is soccer talk. So if you don't care about soccer, you can just hit the X right now. But like remember, like Amazon came out with the City documentary, and then they're doing one for Tottenham this season.
Yeah.
But Netflix signed a deal with Sunderland, who's a champion or was a championship team, like the second tier of English football. They signed him to a deal. Like the year where they were like, oh, we'll follow you around, we'll do a series about you, pretty much so that we can show you going from the down from the Premier League to the Championship and going back up to the Premier League, and like how the club works and all that. And then, but what it's done now is it's shown like the demise of this like football club, because they've gone from the Premier League to the Championship to League One. So they've gone relegated for the last like 3 years in a row, and they're like. They've always been in the Premier League, and they just didn't understand what to do in like the lower leagues and just keep losing. And like
Interesting.
And like the city is like lives by this team, because like the opening scene of the whole show is like they're in a church, and it's like there's a service where pretty much just the pastor or priest or whatever he is like praying for like the game and like them and what they do for the city and like how they are the city. And all of a sudden, and like because it's like a mining town and it's a shipping town who is like they don't mine there anymore, and they don't do a lot of shipyard stuff there anymore, and it's a city like on the decline, and it's like that's all that they have. And all of a sudden you just see like the connection of like the city and the club, and it just kind of crumbling. it's really interesting. They're on season 2 right now. Actually, they might even be on season 3 right now. So like it's on Netflix. Yeah. Sunderland Till I Die. It's about Sunderland Football Club, which has a lot of, and they have one of their better players right now is an American international U.S. men's national team player. So
Yep.
Gives it even more interest. But that's a good show.
I made a list of things that I've been watching because I wanted to keep track.
Nice.
Oh, I did.
So, yeah. So, I watched all of Tiger King. Now I'm just going to go through the things that I've seen that are new to me. The first time seeing them, I'm not gonna, I've watched Empire Strikes Back probably 6 times since the break has started, but I don't need to go over that one. So I watched The Blind Side for the first time.
Oh.
That was entertaining.
Yeah.
I watched Trolls World Tour the other day because you could rent it on the internet. That was fun.
Dickerson will be watching that soon, probably.
I was gonna say, you don't have kids, dude. Like, you're ready, bro. You're ready, bro.
No.
Rambo Last Blood, which was amazing. It's a national treasure.
That first Rambo movie is really good. Like, Oscar worthy good. Like,
yeah, First Blood is great.
It's just funny how it's kind of like Fast and Furious was a cop drama, and now it's an action movie.
Yeah. I watched a movie called Spencer Confidential, it's on Netflix. It's with Mark Wahlberg, It's a Netflix specific movie or whatever, produced by Netflix. It's got Post Malone in it. It was kind of like pushed. He's not like a main character. He's just like in it sometimes. It was entertaining. And then I watched an entire series, which is only 2 seasons so far, but on Netflix called Mind Hunters.
Yeah.
Which it's really cool actually. It's about the FBI. So the FBI obviously started with, the Dillinger stuff and all that, the chasing criminals. And one of the things that they started introducing in this 70s realistically was psychology to the FBI and behavioral analysis, which now, in many cases, people associate the FBI with behavioral analysis, not so much investigation, into crime, but into behavior. And the whole show is about that. And it's got real characters, like not real characters, but real people that they're interviewing. Like they interviewed Charles Manson and people like that. And it's really, really good. I would highly recommend it. Dickerson, you're a film guy, so David Fincher is the producer, and he directs like half of them. So, it's
I
worth
love House of Cards. If you didn't watch that, he was great with that.
Yeah. So it's got the same cold, wet, and dark feel to it, which is my specialty when it comes to like shows and movies. I love cold, wet, dark. Another show I would recommend that's on Hulu now. It was originally owned by, I think, AMC, and then they sold it to Netflix, and now they've sold it to Hulu, is The Killings, which takes place in Seattle. I've only watched the first 2 seasons because I didn't know there was any more, but the first season is amazing. The second season is very entertaining. And now there's 2 other seasons that I haven't watched. So... but yeah, no, I would recommend Mind Hunters. It's good.
I've been trying to, I don't know. I feel like I've been watching a whole bunch of like not that serious stuff. Other than, Marvel movies aren't that serious, and like normally every day I watch at least an episode of like American Dad, just because like I'm all in. Like I know there's like camps like Family Guy and American Dad, Futurama, all these. I'm just like as solidly in the American Dad camp as I could be.
I think American Dad's in the last like 5 years has been better than Family Guy because there's just been some really deep pop culture cuts. And my wife's like, "What are they talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
There's some of them are just fantastic.
Mind Quad. I want a Mind Quad TV show. So
one of
Funny.
So I'm a big Family Guy supporter. And I don't disagree with you. I do like American Dad. But now I have another one that I can throw into the mix. I've been watching Bob's Burgers. And I never enjoyed it by like making a conscious decision to like sit down for 30 minutes to watch it. But now that I kind of have the TV on at all times, and I signed up for Hulu Premium during this break because you get 30 days of it for free. So I figured this lasts more than 30 days. I'll pay for it probably because I'll need it. And if it doesn't last, I'll cancel it. Yeah. So I've been watching some Bob's Burgers, man, and I'm telling you what, it's got some really funny moments. But I've realized that a lot of the time though is that the kids aren't that funny. It's Bob and his wife. When they interact with maybe one of the other kids, but like when the kids are by themselves, I don't really care about it. It's not that funny.
Did you ever watch Home Movies?
No.
The guy who made Home Movies, and actually H. John Benjamin's on Home Movies. Bob, he plays the coach and like 3 other kids on it. It's kind of the same thing. It's like the kids have a storyline going on, but it's like the mom of the one kid and the coach. He's actually a soccer coach too. They're like the funny aspects of the show because like they're the ones like dealing with real trouble. Like, oh, my girlfriend dumped me. Oh, I didn't get paid this week, And so.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird, but I do like those cartoon shows. You know, it's another funny cartoon like that is Paradise PD on Netflix.
Mm.
I saw the preview of that.
Yeah, it's I mean it's Netflix specific, but it's the same thing. It's a Family Guy type of show, you know,
Yeah.
American Dad. It's goofy adult cartoons.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You watch Big Mouth?
uh,
You know, it's funny is I didn't watch it like every episode or anything, but I've seen quite a bit of it randomly here and there.
yeah. I feel the same way.
That
Yeah.
season 3 is like, well, they
Far?
oh yeah, like
Wow.
season 1. There's like pop culture stuff. Like they do a Seinfeld episode, literally with the bass drops. They have the one
Yeah.
kid pretend to be Kramer, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Now it's like, oh wow, they're really getting into the R-rated content. So
There's a
Good
lot
for
of
them.
Yeah.
As McGuire would say, good for them. Good for them.
it's like a really crazy sex ed class now on that show. Like it's rough.
Learning is
go,
important.
to go 180 degrees from that. I watched for the first time in my memory, anyways. This is really Jumanji, which has nothing to do with Big Mouth.
The original with Robin
The
Williams?
original.
So
The
good.
original
yeah.
with Robin Williams. It's a good
Solid movie.
Yeah. I mean, I you can't go wrong with Robin Williams, if you ask me.
No. R.I.P. R.I.P.
Right. But yeah, no, Jumanji, great movie. And it makes me actually want to watch the one that came out with like The Rock and Kevin Hart and Jack Black and all them, just because I kind of want to see what happens.
They were okay. I thought they were
Yeah.
fun. If like you're kind of like in that whole childhood, I have nostalgia kind of thing. They're fine. So
They're fine.
no, I mean no, because like I don't like film critics really.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm really against Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic and all that. I think people just need to go like, oh yeah, I didn't like it, but it wasn't like the worst thing ever. Like, you know, like you didn't have to write what you wrote about it. It's like, no, it's a kid's movie. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
One of the things, so I really actually like that, Dickerson, is so I like movies, I like film, and one of the things that I've always said is that these they should be rated based on what their purpose was. So my example for this would be like I don't know, Marvel movie or Transformers or whatever. I personally am not a fan of them. They don't entertain me whatsoever. But I appreciate the fact that what they are. You know, they need to be rated on what their intention was. You know, nobody makes Spider-Man 74 and thinks to them, or whatever it is, I'm going to go win an Oscar. No, it needs to be just based on, you know, action Marvel jump around guy thing. And the same thing goes for comedies. I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time is Step Brothers. I really, really, really like it because they just buy into their characters so well. That 40-year-old still living at home with their parents thing. And yeah, and they just buy into it so well. I'm not saying it deserves some sort of award from, you know, the Academy, but it's funny, man. It's really funny. And the whole idea is to make you laugh and have a good time. So what Dickerson was saying with the big sights and everything on that crap, it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't need to be so critical. Now, the same thing goes for a drama or whatever it might be, but I'm sure the Jumanji movies are very entertaining. Kind of like, let me bring it back, guys. All right. Rambo Last Blood. All right. Let me go back. I'm telling you. Now, I don't think as a teacher I can recommend that you go see this if you're a student because of the level of violence. But it's on Amazon Prime Video for free. If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there.
Well, I mean, like, you want to talk about somebody who's typecast, right? Like somebody who makes a movie for the movie's sake, or like makes like Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler and
Don't hate on Adam Sandler.
people like that. They're never gonna win they're never gonna win an award, right? Because of that. Because
He
like
got
what
close
Nash is
this
saying.
year.
Right. But like Will Ferrell, will people look at Will Ferrell and go, he's funny. Like that's it. Nobody thinks he's a good actor. But like it's stuff like Stallone, right? Who does his Rocky and Rambo, and he's the roids, and everybody looks at him and is like, Stallone. But I mean, you watch Creed, man, and you're like, all right, Stallone was great in Creed, and he should have. Didn't he win an award for that?
He got a Golden Globe,
nomin-
but didn't get the Oscar.
Right, but he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and like, I tell you what, I like Creed more than I like any of the other Rockies, but that's just me.
I gotta watch those. I hear they're great.
You haven't seen any of the Creed?
No.
Creed, it sounds like.
I've got them recorded on I'm kind of doing what Nash did. I'm going back and I'm like writing down what I actually went and saw. Like I finally watched the new Godzilla because I had it recorded on my DVR. So
I'm never gonna watch that.
Oh, they're fun. They're fun.
I'm never gonna watch that. What do you mean you're not gonna watch that?
That's
Don't say never. This lockdown could be for years. You'll watch it then.
That's true. When it comes to November and there's no sports still, I'm gonna be like, Godzilla.
Gojira.
Oh boy. Oh wow.
What's your problem, man?
For a second there, I thought that was a remote control gun.
No, I have this on my bookshelf.
That was gonna be a transformer.
They're dumb and fun. The only critic I ever actually somebody just entered our chat. Who is that?
Probably King. He texted me.
Oh, it is. There it is.
Oh, it is. Oh, there he is.
Hey. Can I
Hello.
unmute him?
Hello. Uh-oh.
He's unmuted. He doesn't have his mic hooked up at all.
Oh, he's connecting to audio.
Oh, it's connecting. Okay.
Oh, what is this? This is just devolving.
What?
How's it going?
Hey,
I just have
there
to
he
use
is.
the restroom.
Sounds good, buddy.
Well, it lasted long enough where he has to take a restroom break. That's good.
That's always good. Fire
Oh.
conversations.
How's it going, man?
It's going.
You missed the Godzilla conversation.
So what? The Godzilla conversation?
Found out McGuire. There are some movies he won't watch. So
Godzilla's at the top of the list.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just never anything that.
Why does Godzilla rank as a movie you don't want to watch?
Nothing
I need
about
to
it
hear
makes.
this explanation.
Are you scared?
Nothing about it makes me want to see it.
Are
That's
you
all.
scared
I
of
think
lizards?
that it might be real.
No.
Scared of lizards.
No, I'm not scared of lizards, and I'm not worried that it'll happen.
You're not worried that an ancient dinosaur is going to pop out of the Pacific Ocean and terrorize the world?
No, I'm more worried about the ancient Loch Ness monster at this point.
Oh, that's
That's
that's Leviathan. He fights him.
There you go. See, that's
I'll
why
watch
you can
that.
watch it. He's got you there.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah, they
Um,
fought in 1978 something. I don't know. I'll just throw a date.
Nash, what's your thought on the Loch Ness monster?
I
Where does it rank in your mythical beasts?
don't know. I'm always partial to Bigfoot because of Harry and the Hendersons. I just felt with that guy. Like I felt with him. He was just such a nice guy. And I'm a big fan of Bigfoot. Plus it's American. I mean, it's very American, the Bigfoot. I know it's all over the world, but still Bigfoot is American.
It is very like rural, small town America. Bigfoot.
Oh, I'm telling you, you go to Washington State, and these people, there are Bigfoot hunters, and they're not hiding either. They're not weird. They are normal people. That
Speaking of shows to watch, there was a show. There was a show.
Are they
Bigfoot
normal
hunters.
people?
You can watch that.
There's also a show about paranormal activity.
My wife watches all that trashy like Ghost Hunters.
Oh,
She
You
knows
want to
it.
talk about
She
trashy
knows
TV?
it. She knows it's garbage too. She's just like, I want to laugh at it. So,
TLC.
TLC. You're darn right. I
Hey.
almost said something that I shouldn't have said, but no,
That-
my wife
Learning
loves
channel.
TLC.
that Iraqi doctor on my 600-pound life is a gangster. I love that guy.
I love that like every season he just comes out with a bigger gold chain. My wife loves that show.
I've never watched
If we give it another 10, 15 years, I might be on it.
it. Well,
with these lockdowns.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the lockdowns.
It's tough.
Welcome
It's
to
tough.
your
I actually
annual
had somebody say you
quarantine.
look like you've lost weight, and I laughed in their face.
Yeah, what have you guys been eating? What?
Takeout
McGuire, we
a lot,
don't care. It's
actually.
like vegetarian and stuff.
A lot of takeout. Supporting local businesses, right?
Have you had Chipotle?
Oh yeah.
Only I'm limited to once a week. My wife is limiting me.
Once a week? How are you surviving off
I don't
one
know.
Chipotle a week?
I sleep a lot more now. I sleep on average 9 to 10 hours a day
Wow.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
consecutively. That used to not happen. It used to be like 5 hours, go to work, come home, sleep for another 3 hours, then go to practice. Now it's just I go to sleep at like 2 and I wake up at 10, and sit in front of my computer and listen to people complain about stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
See, I mean, I feel like I've eaten. I feel like I have to go out to eat now. I feel like I have to get takeout because we keep talking about takeout, and I haven't really gone. And I feel like I need to go. We get paid tomorrow, so still getting paid.
Some of us got paid already.
Oh, that's true. I
Do
forgot.
we get double pay tomorrow?
No,
No.
From
What?
the
unless you
government?
get stimulus. Well, stimulus mine hit yesterday, so you should get it this week.
Oh shoot! Let me look at my bank account right now to see if
You're
it
welcome.
hit. Because
You know, my bank's always early. I get paid on Tuesdays, not Wednesdays.
that's true. So they stimulus your bank early too, huh?
It did. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I have a credit union, federal credit union. So
All right,
they
come
always
on,
get stuff
stimulus.
first.
I didn't get it yet. 'Cause it's if you made
No stimulus.
it's under 70 an individual, you get 1,200, and then it's 500 a kid.
Oh, is it?
I think that's what I read.
But I know that it's like if you're married, it's if you're together under like
I think it's 150. Yeah.
yeah, you get 2,400. So woo. But still
I
hasn't
got-
hit yet. Still hasn't hit yet.
I got to buy a dishwasher apparently. So
Ooh, that's what you have kids for, right?
I was gonna buy the purple and orange suits from Dumb and Dumber, but
See, the dream is when my son's 5, we teach him how to do dishes, vacuum.
Vacuum
all
would
the-
be clutch.
Yeah, man, vacuum, sweep.
we're all gonna have
The
Roombas
kids are
by then.
4. It's free labor.
That's true. Tell you what, I need somebody to fix my lawnmower. That's what I need to do. I'm gonna have to bring out the lawnmower without the
The
motor.
battery-powered lawnmower.
No, I have one that's gas powered.
Yeah, that's right. You used to have, so I don't know if you know this, but McGuire used to have a lawnmower that did not have an
Still
engine.
have.
It was one of those blade, still has it, just one of the blade ones.
no.
It's just like I don't even know what to call it. I'd never heard
Old
of,
school.
I've
The
heard of
push
it,
mower.
but I'd never seen one. And then he told me it took him like an hour to do his yard, which is like 10 by 10 feet. And he's like, yeah, it's uneven. It takes me forever to do. And I was like, what are you cutting it with? He explained it to me, and I disbelieved.
Yeah. I had to go over it twice.
Nash looks so disappointed.
Ash is just looking at his phone. He doesn't know what's going on.
I was reading. No, I just spray my yard with bleach.
That's why you get the 6 gallons or whatever that guy got.
You're
from-
the guy at Home Depot.
Yeah,
That guy.
I just. Well, and
Fill it
now
all.
I'm regretting it because I'm running out of toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, if anybody knows how to fix lawnmower engines, come on over. But after the quarantine.
Just don't call it Wesco because it'll break down.
What?
like
Your
the leak
mower?
thing.
The engine already died?
Well, it does. It's not
It's
running
not
right.
new.
What kind
it's
of
also not
lawnmower is
new. He got it from his neighbor.
Right. My neighbor gave it to me for free.
kind of
Um,
lawnmower.
It's
He
red.
doesn't know. Yeah.
What's the engine?
Red.
Is it So, what kind of lawnmower? It's red. You need to know if it's a Honda motor or a Briggs and Stratton motor. Those are the only two motors on mowers that you should have.
I've got the Honda and the Husqvarna.
Yeah,
Husqvarna.
That's it. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, Honda motors are the way to go, or Briggs and Stratton.
It's just missing. I don't know if it needs a new spark
It's
plug.
missing.
For a push mower, yeah.
Yeah,
If you have a
I need-
riding mower, you've got a few different avenues you can go.
But it like gets the job done. I just don't know if it's gonna make it through every time I turn.
I was
it
going
on.
to say, it clearly is not getting the job done if you need somebody to take a look at the engine.
How long's the gas been sitting in it?
I mean, I mow it. I think I just put gas in it.
Because the gas will go bad. I had like 2-year-old gas in a little can, and it fried my.
I've been
last
mowing
one.
once a week.
Yeah, hey, if you want to know
okay.
about bad things that happen to lawnmowers, you can literally just ask me any question you want, because the mowers at Wekiva last year and my first year there, dude, I can't even begin to tell you how many problems we had. Can't even begin to tell you. I mean, before football games, you got Bobby trying to change a tire. Like almost every Friday, the same tire goes flat.
Well, don't call anybody out on this live YouTube special sponsored by.
I already did. I already mentioned them by name. Great people, but they're, I don't know.
I'm not allowed to say we're sponsored by people. So.
Marco's Pizza.
Sponsored. There you go.
Sponsored by
No.
Dickerson's
No,
job.
we're done with Marco's Pizza.
Yeah, they went out of business.
Did they really?
The one
Really?
the one by Fuddruckers is gone.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's
Well, there's one
it's my
on
Papa
Rock
John's
Springs.
territory, baby. So,
Sticking it to them. It's that great service from Papa John's. Drove them out.
Dickerson,
So
what is that a picture of above you?
that would be wait.
oh, it's
Reservoir
my
Dogs.
doppelganger. Yeah. It's
Uh,
this webcam is really short.
oh, nice. Godfather.
So you know the
What's that
the
behind
police
me?
officer. You know the police officer that. Hold on. What is that?
Everybody, this is like my favorite knickknack. My Nickelodeon.
Wow, I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Wow.
A long time.
So the officer in Reservoir Dogs that is tortured by them, his name is Officer Nash.
No.
Fun fact.
Mm. I know a lot of movies that have Nashes in them. For example, Under Siege, the private that is tasked with holding Casey Ryback in the freezer, according to Gary Busey's orders, his name is Private Nash. In RoboCop, there is a guy who he is in a club that when RoboCop goes to get him, and his name is Leon Nash. I know a lot of Nashes just randomly placed in movies.
It's an easy name to remember and say.
Well, yeah, because it's mine. You know, I always remember it because it's my last name.
I mean, just every time King and I play FIFA, there's a Nash.
There's a Nash. There is. It's one of the NPCs.
Yeah, well, computer pro club player always makes some pretty solid decisions. And
It's never Dickerson. I think there's a McGuire occasionally, but like they always go short names. Movies, video games, doesn't matter. It's always a short name, easy to pronounce.
King.
King Nash Smith.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jones.
Bates. There's a Bates.
Bates, yes.
I saw Bates was doing a cooking show from home, and now I'm like, damn, I want to watch that.
Is he?
Yeah, he was putting it
Makes
on
sense.
his Instagram for his kids and stuff. I thought it looked really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Makes sense.
I don't go on Instagram, so I miss all that stuff.
I'm waiting for Nash's home workout on the Wekiva Girls soccer page.
You mean for today's update?
No, I mean you. I'm waiting for your
Me.
own like.
All right, I got 6
through
bottles of
Instagram.
bleach. We're gonna do 10 reps.
We need to. What game did you dislocate your knee at this year, Nash? Was that Lake Mary Prep?
Oh crap!
No, I don't know who it was. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a home game. I'm pretty sure it was recorded. We need to find that, and we can use that somehow.
Put it all over the internet.
Yes. I'm honestly surprised that didn't make it in the end of the year video. I'm surprised we didn't splice that in there.
What's great is I'm responsible for making the end of the year banquet video. You know, eventually somebody's going to take some of these responsibilities away from me, and I'll start getting made fun of more.
See, yeah. What you need to do is you need to send out the final copy of whatever you make, and then I can utilize whatever and throw in some extra stuff.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that, actually.
I am good at finding things that are funny. We had the Shrek picture,
Yeah.
the Conehead picture as well in our scouting report, Districts Week.
Like the
Solid
SNL Coneheads?
It was a dude that looked a lot like Nash, facial expression wise. He was bald, so all bald people look alike. You don't have hair,
Yeah,
you look the same. His head was a little bit fatter, right? So like a combination of me and Nash. Like if I was bald and didn't have a beard or mustache or anything, and I forget, it was a meme of some sort. I forget what it said, but the girls got a kick out of it.
It said soon.
Soon. That's
It said
this
soon.
weird look on his face. I need to find that. I'm pretty sure I have it in an email somewhere.
It's somewhere in there.
Yeah, it might be on the. Is it on? Did we put it on the girls' soccer page?
I don't think so.
No, I went in and got rid of a lot of that stuff afterwards.
Gotcha.
But it is on my desktop at work. I'll tell you that. Unless Glockman is in there erasing stuff, it's there.
Do you think they painted over your walls yet?
I've been wondering that, actually.
I would hope so.
What hallway were you in?
Oh, the last one. The culinary hallway is what King and I would.
I wonder if they're still going to move us after this year, because Bates is telling us that he's taking over the hallway.
All right.
So
We'll see. Inside information.
Yep. Breaking news.
If you're watching this for next year.
Yeah.
Culinary expansion sponsored by Papa John. There you go.
I'm making a killing right now, man. You guys want a job? Hit me up.
Yeah. I was going to say, dude, you're probably making some bank doing that right now, huh?
Every Saturday, $100 cash, yeah. And then the hourly on Fridays, so it's like $150 a week minimum.
That's pretty good, man.
I did see a thing that people are actually like not, because they're doing no contact delivery, they're being sketches and not. I'd use a different word, but
you can't do no contact unless you prepay.
Right, but I've heard people are leaving off the tip because they do no contact.
It's weird. I've been getting no joke. I've been getting 25%. Like I'm a waiter for some reason. I don't know if people are just like they don't know how to tip. Like $2 on one pizza is cool with me. I'm not greedy. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Right.
But I had a guy leave me a $20 tip for 3 pizzas the other night.
That's pretty.
I was like, what?
I'm always a 20% guy at restaurants. I always do 20%, unless I'm like super broke. But if I'm super broke, I'm probably not eating out anyway.
Unless it's Chipotle.
Chipotle, I don't tip. You don't need to tip at Chipotle. I tip the driver if I do delivery, but there's no tip if you go in and.
Well, you said you don't eat out if you're broke, but you eat out at Chipotle even if you're broke.
That's true, but I don't have to tip at Chipotle. That's the thing. Like there's a hierarchy of things. Like if I have to tip at like a normal restaurant, if I'm broke, I'm probably not going out. If I have a little bit of money, it's more than likely going to Chipotle.
I'm a 20% guy no matter what, except there's a couple things that kind of change. So number one is it's 20% no matter what, at minimum. Doesn't matter if the service was really horrible, I'll still give them 20%, but I'll let them know it was horrible. But hey, okay. But one thing is, if you go out and let's say you get like a side salad and it's like $3 and then you get a water, so your bill is $3 and change or something. You do not tip 20% on that, or not you. I don't tip 20% on that. I have a 20% rule of it's a $2 minimum tip. If somebody is walking to my table and bringing me a drink and then also an item, they're getting $2 no matter what. Even if it's below, even if it's like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? If 20% of $3, they're not going to, I'm not going to give them
So here's the, I think
68
here's the
tip.
more important question. How do you let them know? How do you let them know their service was garbage? Like, are you upfront and like aggressive? Are you passive aggressive?
So you are asking this. This is a rhetorical question from you.
Oh no.
Clearly, as
I really want to know the answer.
yeah, you really do. I'm sure. You know exactly how I would respond to this. If the service was bad, I would first try and identify how the service was bad, because I've worked in restaurants before, so I understand sometimes it's not the server's fault. Sometimes it's the person working in the back, or they're extremely busy. I understand that. But you know, I always value this. I never ever look at their service as bad when it comes to the food. The food, the
Right.
taste has
They have
nothing
no
to do with
control
them.
over that.
And
Right.
even the timing in many cases has nothing to do with it. I will base good and bad service at a regular restaurant based on how often my drink is refilled. Now, you guys know how
Okay.
much I drink in terms of like soda or water or tea or whatever I'm drinking. I'll go through 7 or 8 of them in a matter of an hour and a half. So that is what I base it off of. Now, most of the time I'll save them ahead of time. I'll be like, hi, I'm not trying to be rude, but I would like my drink filled more often. And in many cases, they'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably just tell them straight to their face before it got there. That's exactly how my response would be. It's my same response with in my classroom. Like, if somebody doesn't do good on a test and they ask me what they can do, I always say, well, you can do better on the next test. Or if it's a soccer player and they ask me how they can get more playing time, and I say, well, get better at soccer.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I don't know. I'm just very honest with them, and not in a mean way. You know that. You know me. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. See, well, a tip originates from the idea of like you tip somebody based on their like how good, like what their service, right? That's a tip, right? That's the originality of a tip. And now that they've made it into this thing where like tips now incorporate, like that makes up minimum wage for people's pay and things. Once they did that, it takes out the whole idea of tipping them based on something that they've done, right?
Yeah.
So
No,
like,
that's exactly what it is, because you go other places around the world and tipping is not normal. Tipping
right.
is a bonus. It's
Right.
like, so
you do well, you get a tip.
in all of Europe, that's exactly what it is. It's you go out to eat and the cost is the cost. Now, if you do really well, you get a tip, because those people are getting minimum wage, or not a minimum wage, but they're getting a livable wage from the start.
Right.
In many cases, if you work at some of the iDrive restaurants and things like that, a lot of the people that come from other countries don't know that they're supposed to tip on top of whatever to make up for the person's salary. I mean, servers make like $4 an hour before their tips. Now, of course, their tips, whatever, but it was originally to kind of be a bonus.
Right.
And now it's part of their wage because they were getting tips. So.
Right. I mean, based on performance.
Companies are cheap.
Yeah.
That's
what?
Companies are cheap. That's why.
Yeah.
It's all about bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying like when I went to Rome, they're like the pizza guy there makes a livable salary just making dough all day. You don't have to tip him. Like it's actually like they're gonna get mad if you tip him. I'm like, really? But
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, they almost look at. I mean, in many places, especially Italy, Italy doesn't like the tip a lot of the time, unless you're like sitting down and you have somebody bringing you food at your table. That's different. But by at a bar or something like that, and little cafes and stuff, they don't want the tip. It's no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the big difference between the U.S. and Europe is how they interact with society, right? Like they're paying people livable wages. Their unemployment benefits are substantially different than ours. Right? A lot of differences.
Yeah.
Culture.
And you get better service by paying them hourly. They've realized that the service is actually better. And a lot of people say, well, why? Because you should I just sounded like Christopher Walken when I said why. Did you hear
Wow.
that? Wow. So I
The
was
pizza.
thinking, one time I was in Italy and this guy, he walks over to me. So stop.
Not a bad Christopher Walken. That's
actually not
pretty good. Yeah, that's good.
I was thinking one time, maybe 2 times, 3 times a lady. So this gold watch. Sorry.
I need to watch Catch Me If You Can. That's a great movie.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, he
Good
is
one.
in that. I forgot.
He's the dad.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good
So
movie.
good. God. Sorry, Italy. What were you saying?
I don't know.
I think we're past it.
Yeah. We've moved on.
King, are you
Oh,
playing
because
Football Manager?
people-
Looks like you're playing Football Manager.
No, I'm not playing anything right now. I'm just kind of looking around, doing stuff.
Looking
And,
around doing stuff.
Oh yeah, like on Canvas, like I'm debating whether I'm going to get some grades done today or if I'm going to save them for tomorrow.
Save them for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
It's a short day tomorrow.
It is
True.
short.
Good point.
That it is. Office hours are still the same.
Office hours are 15 minutes shorter.
Are you finding that your kids are actually on when you're on, or is it like 3:30 in the morning you're getting an email from them?
So it depends, right? Like I'll get some at like midnight or 1 a.m. Most of my kids don't really ask me questions. I think because they talk to each other a lot.
It's because they don't
So,
like
like,
you.
that too.
Oh.
Like I probably have like I want to say 10 to 20 kids that ask me questions, and then the other kids just do it. Like they don't ask questions; they just do the assignment.
I think
My
it's
seniors
also
have been the
very
best at
different.
turning stuff in.
Yeah, I think it's also very different for King too because he's got an AP course,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, most of my questions come from them.
yeah, honestly, when it comes to the AP courses, it's not that the students are more willing to ask questions; it's that the students have to ask questions.
Yeah.
to
I
understand the question.
screencast. Like I screencast the PowerPoints. So I'll record over the PowerPoints and I'll post them. So they'll have like the regular PowerPoint and they'll have me talking. And if they don't want to listen to me talk, then they can just read through it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I go about it.
Yeah. I mean, seniors, like I said, seniors have been my best at turning stuff in because they get it.
Yeah, that's the other thing is I teach all seniors, right? So they all understand that they have maybe a month and a half left, if that. I mean, really, I'm not entirely. I'm not gonna say that, but it'll be interesting to see what we do for the first like 2 weeks of May because their finals were supposed to be at the end of April.
Right.
So technically, we'll be done with most of our content
Yeah.
by the end of April. So I'm curious if they're still going to have like a release date for seniors or if we're going to be going to the end of May. Like, how's that going to work?
According to
If we
DeSantis,
even
we're going to
go
go
back
back
to
for like
school.
2 days.
We're not going back. It's not happening.
For the AP test, did they? I saw some stuff on the news. Did they finally come up with is it going to be like anecdotal at home answering or?
Yeah, so it's an open book, open note FRQ. Essentially, is what's going to happen. So they can take it on their laptop, computer, phone, whatever they want to take it on. For my class, they have 2 questions. Well, it says they have 2 questions, but really they have 3. For question 1, they have 2 short response FRQs, and then for question 2, they have a long response. So they still have 3 questions, but they have less time to do it. So I'm curious to see how they. Well, I'm not going to see it, but I'm curious to see what they do in regards to the length of the question, because the normal FRQ for AP Macro is 1 long response, 2 short responses, and you have an hour. Now they have 1 long response, 2 short response, they have 45 minutes. So it'll be, and they're not being graded on graphing, which is normally a big part of AP Macro. It's usually like a fourth of the points that they have is from graphing. So it'll be interesting. But they tell you that you should graph because you need it in order to answer some of the questions. So it's very interesting as of right now. So I gotta do a little bit more research and watch their webinar for AP Macro this week to see exactly what their what their plans are and what they're talking about. but it's going to be very condensed, and they're at least cutting out an entire unit. So we'll see. We'll see, I guess, is really all I got.
Apparently that's the cue. This is the second time Nash has gone up and left. Maybe that's the cue.
I drank a lot of iced coffee, man.
Because King went all inside baseball with AP Macro there.
Hey, I got asked a question. I answered the question.
I appreciate it.
Good answer. It's a good answer. It's going to be weird, though, man. Hopefully scores will be up.
Plus, I mean, that's the thing. Like, this is going to be an outlier of a year for most people.
Yeah.
And I believe they have the option to not take them if they don't want to, which is something I need to look into a little bit more as well. Because, like, my first semester students, I mean, I sent them all the stuff they need or all the stuff they could want. And I'll probably have a few that for sure will want to take them. But I got an email from one of my kids saying, like, I totally forgot that we still had to take this exam, and I'm regretting it. So it'll be interesting. Because they have, I mean, Norm, we were supposed to be reviewing. Like, this is supposed to be our first week of review. And I haven't seen those kids in like 5 months or so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Ooh, that was big. That was big jump in.
I know, it was fun.
At least you'd missed the couch. That
Yeah.
would have been rough.
King, is that where you play Xbox? Is that the room you play Xbox
Yes, the front room, yep. Front room of our house. It's away from everybody, so when I cuss somebody out, it does echo in here though, so really they hear me cuss regardless, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's why we can't Twitch stream. That's why we can't have a YouTube Twitch stream.
You can still cuss. Well, I mean, you're the problem when we play FIFA.
I want to hear Nash and
Bunch of GDs. Yeah, Nash, you need to
Call of Duty.
You need to fire up some FIFA, by the way.
I have no microphone on there.
That's fine. You still need to fire up FIFA. You can listen.
I'm so bad at it. Like,
That's
so
fine.
bad.
That's fine. Do you have it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right, yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
I have a brand new copy of 15 or 16 I've never played. I was gonna joke with you guys, but I was like, oh man, maybe I don't want to tell them that. I've never played a FIFA game, so
Can you classify something that's 4 years old as brand new?
well, it is the shrink wrap has been broken, but it's still shiny and no thumbprints, no dust.
So okay. Mint condition.
So soccer stuff, I have the schedule completely made except for 2 schools that are required, Jones and Evans. So I'm gonna take it and I'm going to edit and format and post it, because that's kind of exciting.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Our Huddle account is active.
Sweet.
You got Huddle now.
We got Huddle. So after going through, because me and Dickerson, we had to make, or no, I didn't have to make anything. I just had to find the small clips of video for one of our players for a recruiting video. And I went through every game film that we had and marked down the exact seconds that it was that we were seeing her play. And then I sent this entire list to Dickerson, and he's like, yeah, not a problem. Just tell me the times. I'm like, cool, man. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is ridiculous. And obviously with some of our younger players that are, they're going to be recruited. We needed to make sure to get that. So we got Huddle officially.
I had a kid who needed to do something, so I was like, "Hey, me and you are gonna do this." So it was all right. It was fun.
It's good, man. It's shared on her recruiting page, and she's getting interest and whatnot. I mean, it's pretty cool. So thank you.
Sweet.
I'll hopefully get better camera operators next year because I saw the footage. Sometimes I was like, "Oh no, they didn't pan."
It's okay. It's all right, man. Whatever.
Yeah, it's the age-old phrase: "You get what you pay for," and we don't pay for it, so we're happy with whatever we get.
Right.
I've got the football team's Huddle satellites in my classroom still. They never came back for them.
Nice.
Yes.
There you go.
It's like, I think a couple $1,000.
Yeah, just a few. Well, we could borrow that during soccer season.
Right.
I don't know if Bedison even wants him to be honest. I think he got somebody to do it, and every time I tried to do it for him, there were tech issues. So I think I was just jinxed with that. So
Fair enough.
Yeah, the soccer stuff is pretty simple. It's just, basically a little bit of zoom, basically quarter field play is what they try and focus on. Half to quarter field and pan with the sport. And then it just, from what I understand, it just completely edits it as you need and whatnot. It's pretty cool. They sent me an iPad to use, which is kind of cool. I don't know. I haven't gotten any of it.
there's a baby.
There's a baby.
Oh, say hi.
Oh, there he is.
What's up,
Just
buddy?
on the show. He's arrived.
He's gnawing on that hairbrush
You
or
know
whatever that
that
is.
brush.
Yeah.
He just woke up from a nap.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I like his style. Nap time.
Time. Yeah. Takes 2 a
Nash,
day.
you're about in your nap time, aren't you?
Yeah, it's about that time. I'm gonna eat something because I still haven't eaten since I woke up. I've only had one of these iced coffees. So I'm going to, I don't know, I might go get a taco. It's been tacos at Jimmy Hula's.
I kind of want
It's a good
Chipotle
place.
right now.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
probably
Being
me for
around
me.
King makes you want Chipotle.
it's true.
It's hard not to. I talk about it so much.
Is
I might as
Jimmy
well be sponsored by Chipotle.
is Jimmy Hula's the it's also a burger place by Cole's?
Yeah, it's that Hawaiian burger joint.
That place is
Yeah.
great.
It is
Yeah.
great.
Big
I tell you what,
Kahuna burger.
my first year at Wekiva, and my first year as a baseball coach, I was at Chipotle so much during the fall after getting the field ready and stuff, because I'd always go there for lunch or dinner or whatever if I left the field at like 8 or 9 o'clock on the way home. It got to the point where, and I'd always order online, but it got to the point where like there were the same like 3 or 4 people working the counter every time I went in there, and they knew me on a first name basis. I didn't even have to say it. They would just be like, Will? Yep. There you go.
And this was
Good
before
service.
the shelf, the shelf,
Yes,
right?
before the shelf. So when they had to actually hand me my food, they knew me by name.
And how's the delivery? Delivery been good?
I've only had like 2 or 3 issues with delivery. One of them, somebody literally just like took my food. The driver just like never delivered it. That was cool. I guess they had a good lunch. I can tell you that much.
Did you get a
But-
free one or something?
Is it?
I mean, they reimbursed me or whatever. They made me a new one at Chipotle, and then
is it through
Postmates
Uber or
reimbursed.
something? Like,
I think they use DoorDash.
okay.
Yeah, they use DoorDash. So DoorDash reimbursed me, and Chipotle made me another order, and I went and picked it up myself.
And with all the companies now, it seems like what they're doing is they're instead of you having to go on to DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever it is, you can order from them. They are the ones that organize it now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they should if they want to sell their food. They shouldn't make you have to do all these other things.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, yeah, it's lunchtime. That's
Yeah.
What's Miss McGuire up to?
She had her
Or
office
Mrs.
hour.
She had
That's
what?
cool.
Office hour where
Office
kids
hour?
could call in.
Is she at the school?
No, she's here.
Oh.
She just did the big blue button thing. Call in for an hour if you have a problem. Try to help you fix it.
That's
They
cool.
won't let anyone on campus. I heard.
Right.
Oh, really?
Except
I knew
Nash.
Lake County did that a while back because we couldn't even go get our stuff from the locker room. We had to set up a day and a time and stagger out when we could pick up stuff out of the locker room.
But yeah.
So.
Yeah. But no, I mean, she did that. I don't know, we bought Animal Crossing. So
Oh,
You only get one town per Switch. So whose town is it?
she plays it. I don't.
All
I
right,
play the
there you go.
Xbox
All right.
downstairs.
All
She
right.
plays
There
the
you
Switch
go.
upstairs.
Speaking of Xbox, we playing FIFA today, McGuire?
There's a good chance. I'm probably gonna play Madden with my buddy here at like 1, and then
Yeah.
I could probably play at like 4 or something.
I'll send you guys my stuff.
Nash will be on.
Yeah, I'm gonna power through and not take a nap, because I didn't fall asleep until, like I said, 5 or 6 a.m. and then I woke up at about 10. So and I don't like staying up like that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of being like 22.
I remember those days.
I do too.
The good old days.
The good old
The
days.
good old days.
So I'm gonna probably stay up, which means I'm gonna get 1 taco, not 3. And then I'll probably play some Call of Duty if nobody else is on, and then if they are, I'm willing to play some FIFA. I'm horrible at it. But I'm willing to try it with you guys. You know what I did get is Grand Theft Auto 5. I played it
Great
for about an
games.
hour. I hate it.
Oh.
I'm so bored.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow. Well, King, I'll text you when I'm ready.
All right. Sounds good.
And then
All right.
we'll
Thank you for
text
having
back.
me on. Sorry I was late.
You're good.
okay.
This was fun.
How old's this little guy?
He is 8 months. He'll be 9 months.
7 years
next
old.
week.
He's 7 years old.
He's 70.
He's already tall.
He's got that
Benjamin
Benjamin Button
Button.
disease.
Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having us on, man. If you don't
Appreciate
find
it.
anybody else, call us up again.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure we can find something else to talk about.
Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for it.
I need more Bigfoot talk.
Yes. More. Next time come with your list of mythical creatures ranked, and we can discuss.
Ranked in what way? That's the
Top
question.
5.
How are you ranking them?
All right, unicorn or
most
Bigfoot?
powerful. What?
Oh, we're just going 1v1. 1v1 is what we're going.
Like a bracket style?
Sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Bigfoot wins any competition with unicorn.
Yeah. Have you seen Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah, come on.
Have you seen his beef jerky commercials?
Rolling in the dough.
Awesome. All right, well, cool. Thank you guys.
All right.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Take care.
You too.
Peace
Bye.
out. Thank you.